Welcome to Grounding Ascension, where we explore topics around activating and integrating our I am presence, coming back to our true selves. I am your host, Celeste Glus. Hello, friends, and welcome back. I feel like it's been quite a long time since I've sat here with you, and I'm excited to share what is coming through at this time with the equinox upon us and so much incredibly deep and transformative energy that is happening at this time. I too had to take some time off and go within and answer the call. And believe it or not, I tend to resist that call because stepping away from routine and what I know to be my day-to-day is hard, even though I am in this understanding of cyclical living and menstrual cycle awareness and the rhythms of nature. It is still a part of my programming to want to stay in routine, to want to stay in the known. So these past few weeks and months have been quite a ride, quite a transformative journey, and one that leave me to do nothing but to surrender, as usual, right? Like when we talk about the divine feminine, she asks us first and foremost, before she could even open the door to something new, we have to surrender. And this is something that I come back to over and over and over again. And it sounds easy, right? Just let go, just surrender, just stop. But when we are truly asked to surrender, it means to almost, in the physical, it could look like going backwards. To literally let go of and stop doing and showing up for what we believe in our logical mind to be the utmost importance. And that brings up triggers, and it brings up, at least for me, a wanting to push forward, because in this society, unless you're showing up and, hustling for something, what is your value? What is your worth? And so these are the things that I've been sitting with in the past few weeks and months. How can I allow myself to surrender? And I have to say that I haven't even given myself the space to completely clear my calendar. But I'm doing the best I can. And this is where I am now. So the return of the divine feminine is what is happening at this time. This is what I brought forth last year when the divine feminine came to me and put me to work, as I like to say, and the mentorship, the planner, everything that you see that I do is all this energy that's working through me. And so as we as a humanity continue to anchor in and receive more light, as we continue to walk through these gateways and these stargates that I always talk about, these passages of very high, intense transformational energy, the divine feminine continues to pour out her essence into us. And something that has been strongly been at the forefront of my experience these last few weeks and months is the coming back and the returning of the cosmic womb. Now, I'm not going to go too much into these concepts because I think that they can be a little esoteric and mystical. And right now I want to keep it as grounded and practical as possible. But what I am seeing is that there is this deep call in our bodies, in our bones, in our heart, most importantly, for so many souls. Now we know, and I'm just going to constantly repeat this, that the divine feminine is not gender biased. This is not a call to women. This is to all souls, especially if you are listening to this and you are gravitated to say, return of the divine feminine. What is this, right? There's something within you that resonates with that concept. And I want to share a little bit about how the return of the divine feminine started for me. And by the way, this path continues to unfold day after day, week after week, month after month. So there will never be like a handbook of this is the path of the divine feminine. Yeah. It's really important that if you're called towards this frequency, that you allow it to sort of permeate through your body and through your existence, and you take what resonates and you leave what does not. Because she is so vast, because her information and her knowledge and wisdom is to be interpreted by every single human being on this planet in 8 billion different ways, right? It's really important not to get hung up on the logical aspect, because it's not logical at all. And so when I say that the divine feminine in the cosmic womb is coming back onto earth, it's like, whoa, what does that mean? And a lot of times after sessions, the people in the groups that are arriving at this time and coming to me and participating in the things that I have to offer, oftentimes it's because there's a fractal of their soul essence that is asking to come back. That's asking to come back into the frequency of the divine feminine. And this means that there's something within the heart or the womb of that person that is asking to go deeper. The divine feminine asks us to ground, to anchor in. And this is why I find it actually kind of comical that this is a podcast called Grounding Ascension, which I didn't choose the topic or the title. It all just came through me. And as it evolves, I only now start to understand what that even means, which is bizarre. And that's just going to show you that what resonates, and you don't need to understand why. Because to be honest with you, it's taking me right now 1.5 years to just slowly start to put words into this work. So this is first and foremost a permission slip for you as the return of the divine feminine comes into your life by simply listening to this podcast, to understand that none of these things will come together for you for a very long time. And if they have already, amazing, congratulations. Like, that is such a freaking phenomenal thing to celebrate. But for most of us, things are not going to come together until further down in the line. But the divine feminine asks us, just like a baby is born in a mother's womb, without her knowing what is going on until 9 months later, she can have a full confirmation of what has happened in her body, right? The divine feminine asks us to blindly trust and focus on what is being presented in front of us. That's first and foremost on this path. And when I say this path, I mean it for you. Again, there's no like step 1, 2, 3, but there is something inside of you that's asking to listen, to receive, to unfold the wisdom that is in your body, that is in your soul. And this is the return of the cosmic womb. The cosmic womb is this place in the universe that we can all, and we are all connected to. And these last few weeks and months for me have taken me to this place of the cosmic womb. And it sounds insane, but after all the meditations I've had, I just accept it. I don't even question anymore. And I allow it to unfold. So when it first presented to me, it felt so vast that I just wanted to sort of give up, because I didn't have words for it. I couldn't interpret it. And there's nothing to do with it. And in our society, when there's nothing to do with something, it loses its value, right? If you think about it, if you're given a book, if you're given information, if you're given something and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do with it? And someone tells you, oh no, nothing. You're not supposed to do anything with it. What is your first reaction? At least for me, from my background of economics and math and science and all these things, although I was very artistic growing up, another part was very trained to think, well, if I can't actually practically do something with this, then it doesn't serve me. And this is what I'm unlearning through this process of the divine feminine, is that you are supposed to do nothing for a very long time when you start to embrace her. For a very long time. A woman does nothing in her gestation period, in her period of birthing a child, for 9 months. And what I mean to say very specifically is that she's not controlling the situation. She's allowing and trusting the wisdom of the cosmos, the stars and the ancients to come together in her body and do what needs to happen. And this is what we are asked to do when we are called by the divine feminine. When there is a return of the divine feminine within us, within our lives, we are called to do nothing but receive. And how hard is that? How hard is that? How hard is it to say, no, you just sit here and you wait? It's like I'm scratching my nails across a chalkboard every single moment of every single day. I cannot wait to do something with this. And it's like, no. Until that yearning to do something, right? Like to receive the information and then blurt it back out. No. There's nothing to give. There's only to receive. And that reception could be for months and for years at a time. And so the return of the divine feminine is that right now on this planet. You are now receiving so much information, so many experiences. Many of you are being guided and asked to let go of the old, to not only let go of the old, but to be open to something completely unknown to you. And everyone around you, let me be very clear, will tell you, no, you're losing it. It's not getting you anywhere. You're not doing anything with it. And yet, there's a part of your soul that so desperately yearns for something more. And this, my friends, is the return of the divine feminine within your essence. She asks for you to receive, to listen, and to be at a time where all we want to do is do, right? After 2020, after being quote unquote locked in, perhaps in a box, whatever you experienced in 2020 and perhaps are still continuing to experience to this day, all we want to do is do. And the funny part is that all of this is being orchestrated in big part to the divine feminine coming back into this earth. And she's asking us to be with ourselves, to sit in all that we are. And so this is just the first episode of a few episodes that I will be sharing with you about the rose path, about the dark goddess that is streaming through me, and this work that is required while we are sitting and being and receiving. Because, okay, you're here. Okay, you're listening. Okay, you're with me. You're like, okay, some of this resonates, some of this maybe doesn't. But there's something here. And my body says yes. What is it? And this is what these next episodes will be about. Just to give you a little bit of my transmission, my frequency that's coming in. And when I say mine, nothing is mine. It's what I'm being shown. And I'm asked to be sharing with you. So the return of the divine feminine is just that. Is you coming back to you and the lost parts of you that you didn't even know existed. You don't even know what's on the other side. I don't even know what's on the other side of this work. I don't. I am blindly surrendering because you know what happened to me earlier this year? I fell into complete and utter withdrawal. Like complete burnout, because I was trying to push forward as soon as we got out of this whole 2020 thing. It was like, yep, back to normal, boom. And it was complete failure. And that's when I realized that I had no choice. We are not given a choice at this point. If you're listening to this, your soul is asking you to step towards something unknown, just like I've been asked to do the same. So I invite you and I give you permission to say yes to that calling, to say yes to the calling of the divine feminine, the rose path, the dark goddess, whatever and however she presents herself to you at this time. Maybe it's none of those words. Maybe it's just an inkling in your soul asking for more. I give you permission and I invite you to join me along on this journey of grounding ascension through the divine feminine. That's it for me today. I hope to hear from you and to hear how this lands. And I'm curious to know how the divine feminine and reclaiming this wisdom into your life is turning out for you. Until next time, my friends, I hope that you are being more than doing, and I will speak to you soon. Mwah.